Let's look ahead into the future. Now, do you have any upcoming projects or initiative that your company is excited about or that are going to be driving growth?
Well, one, I think we just have a lot of growth on the horizon through just organic growth. We've really established ourselves as a good partner and a good option. And so it's been really cool to see. I know there's been a lot of consolidation in the industry, a lot of M&A and companies buying companies, both in the tech space and in operations, in real estate portfolios and big aggregators of equity, like really gobbling up a lot of real estate. So it's been a really interesting trend to see just the scale that's been achieved in our industry via consolidation. With that said, we really like to be, great customer service, great client experience, a boutique operator. We're kind of big enough, which is funny to say at 50,000 units, you're a boutique now. But you're kind of small enough to still care and big enough to have a really impressive platform. And so we are disproportionately focused on centralization and how changes in prop tech and the demands of our residents are driving a pretty rapid and wild change to an operating model that's been used for a long time. Since I got started, and I think Adrian, you've got a few years on me in terms of how long you've been doing good things in this industry. But, it's been the same model for a long time. And I think there's been small changes, but now it feels like there's rapid and big changes coming. And so we're really focused on the integration of both centralization and technology and how that's going to drive what we think. And, if we're wrong, then I'm wrong, and our company will, you'll hear about it. But we think it will drive a better resident experience and team member experience. And we've seen this already. You think about student housing. If you want to hire someone in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, that's a small town. And if you live in Tuscaloosa, you only got like four options, or whatever. But when you take when you go to a centralized model, and we're not doing a call center. I know some of our competitors have required everyone, you got to move to this city and you got to all work in co-location. We're not doing that. And so what we've done, which is does it both ways. So any leasing agent in America that works on our centralized team, and if we like the same time zone, but I don't want to bore you guys with some of the small details, but can work to cover that community in the small town. And we'll keep using Tuscaloosa as an example. So that's great, right? We're no longer subject to just a limited labor pool. Conversely, if we have a team member and they happen to live in Tuscaloosa, but they want a different job, they're now not limited to, well, I have to be an on-site, which could be, amazing positions and leasing and maintenance and the manager and whatever. Or they could say, well, I'd love to work in, centralized operations or HR or marketing or whatever. So I think by really expanding our job architecture and being open, like we're going to get great candidates all over the country in small markets. We're also going to lead to retention. Someone who might have wanted to stay with the company, but the property sells or it changes management, which happens all the time in our industry. And so now we say, well, we actually have a lot of remote and centralized options to work at Cardinal. And so we are really hyper focused on the changes that are happening right in front of us. I know not everyone's a believer, and I know other companies are kind of fighting against that. But I think I have a pretty clear line of sight on how our industry is going to change, and we want to be a leader, not a follower in that.